Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. First of all, you guys know the drill. If you guys could please smash that like button, I'd really appreciate it. If you guys could leave a comment down below. I don't care what it is. Super helps the channel out. It is Tuesday. We're back in the shop. It's not bright and early. It's actually the afternoon. I didn't get a chance to vlog this morning. I had customers coming in, and anyways, it is about halfway through the day. In the shop today, we have the 68 C10. I've been kind of picking away at assembling some things. You can see I got the side markers in. I did have some black hardware already. I already had the factory clip still on the panel, so I just used some fresh black screws and screwed them in. I got the screws in straight up and down. I do got to take out the blinker. I was just kind of test fitting that, but I got to take that back out and actually replace the bulb and then also put the gasket in there. But just so you guys know, if you guys go online or go to one of these restoration places, they charge about $10, $11 just for 4 screws. And that would only do, you basically need like 3 or 4 sets of those. And if you go down to Lowe's or Home Depot or your local hardware store, I got 7 screws here. You can get them in different lengths. These are 10s. You can get them 6, 8, 10, 12. You can get them different lengths. You can get, you know, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, 1 1/4 inch, and so on. But anyways, I got some 10 3/4 stainless screws here. You can get these all in different sizes. So I could have done stainless here if I wanted to, but I paid about $2 for 7 screws, and that's pretty good compared to what they wanted online for our restoration parts. So anyways, I did go with the black screws. I already had those. I like the way those look on there. I did get the stainless screws to actually install the tail lights. Now the housing of the tail light uses 2 screws per tail light, just like that. So I got the stainless screws to go in those 2 holes, and then there's also 2 screws that go into the reverse light section as well. So I'm working on getting later on I'll get those put in. You can see back here we got some parts still. Here is our front valance, looking fresh. I'm gonna have to build some brackets to get this to go on, but it's really gonna make the front end of this truck look amazing. So that is a still-in front lip, I believe, to an OBS style Chevy. So obviously like a 97 or so, 98 Chevy Silverado, that's what that fits. So it does fit pretty much perfectly on this. Of course, I'll have to make some brackets to actually mount it. Also, when you go to the store, they want about $4 or $5 for a 2-pack of bulbs. So I paid about $6 for a 10-pack. So I got a 10-pack of 1156s, 10-pack of 1157s. Of course, we're an automotive repair shop, so I will use whatever we don't use at some point. But I am going to put all new bulbs in everything. Also, before I installed these, I was looking for where there's a hole in the backside for a bulb. Now, under the hood, I could not find the harness. Now you can see back there, we got a hole. I could not find the harness. I could not find the pigtail to plug in there. So I took a look at the old light to see if they were on there, and this is what I discovered. So we got our old side marker there, rear side marker here, and if you flip them around, look at it, it's blocked off. Front blocked off. So it's almost like this is a base model truck. Of course, it's a 2-wheel drive, long bed, rear wheel drive truck. So it probably is a fairly, it is an earlier model, so it is probably base model. So I actually didn't get, so I have nothing to block the holes. Now, of course, it's not a big deal. I could put some tape or something to block the holes. But I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead and order the sockets and bulbs and some little pigtails. I'm gonna go ahead and install them, at least just to plug the hole so no dirt and debris gets in the holes and fills up with water or anything like that. But also it would be pretty easy to wire them in and actually have functioning side marker lights. So pretty pumped. I do have our headlight buckets repainted. We're gonna go ahead and install these later. I'm gonna get my headlight in there and installed, and keep moving forward with this thing. I think I am just gonna install the emblems with the red insert. I thought about doing them black. I don't think I'm gonna do anything on the rear Chevy letters. I thought about doing a gloss black decal, and I still might, but overall it looks really good the way it is, so why mess with something if it looks good? So anyways, super pumped about how everything's looking. This weekend, if I get some time, I'm gonna come in here and try to get the floor raptor linered inside the cab. That way I can go ahead and get the seat in. But we do have the glove box installed. We have our dash pad repainted and installed. So everything's looking really good. I still got to get a couple door panels and a steering wheel. I'll probably go ahead and replace the dash bezel. You can get these for about 65 bucks new with chrome and everything on them. So that'll look really good. I'll probably reinstall the original visors, which are not color matched black or anything, but we can go ahead and change those out later at some point. But I'm not just gonna go and buy everything we need right now for this truck. So anyways, there's an update on the 68 C10. It's looking good. I'm hoping next week to have it on the lift so we can go ahead and hopefully modify the exhaust and get the exhaust to come out the rear center with some stainless tips, and also build some brackets to get the front valance installed underneath the front. And hopefully by then we'll go ahead and have all the lighting installed as well, and obviously hopefully try to get it all working and functioning, because before we can drive this thing down the road, we got to have everything functioning. I do have our windshield on here. I'm getting it cleaned up. I do have about a 4-inch crack. I'm not sure when that happened. I believe that I had this sitting in the booth, and when I took the hood inside the booth, I believe I barely hit the piece of glass that was on the stand, just enough to send a crack through it. I'm sure we could install this, but I am going to look for a new piece of glass and see if we can't install a new piece of glass instead of installing a bad one and having to change it out later and ruin a $50 seal. So for now, it's just sitting here. I'm going to try to see if I can't get a fresh piece of glass for a pretty affordable price before we go ahead and install that. I have the new rubber still in the bag over there. Here is our rear glass. I got it cleaned up last night, and I had a few minutes, and I started working the fresh rubber on the glass. So you just got to be careful, but rear glass looks really good. Seal looks really good. Just got to get it on there nice, and we'll go ahead and we'll be roping up the rear glass to rope it in. So super pumped on the C10. I'm still looking for a set of wheels and tires. We'll see. We'll probably find something used. If not, we'll buy new, but we definitely need something that screams hot rod. I am trying to keep it pretty mean looking in the front, so I'm not sure as far as chrome and trim and buckets how much I'm gonna do. I probably will end up doing the chrome buckets and probably the chrome insert grills, but I don't want it to be too happy in the front, so we'll be careful about how much we do. So we'll dip inside the spray booth. I do have an engine mount bracket hanging here on the stand that I just painted up really quick because it was pretty rusty for the CRV. And inside here, we finally had time blocked out to do the Honda Goldwing. Now I spent almost a full day on this vehicle. Came out really nice. Paint definitely came back to life. It's kind of a blue with a purple pearl in it, so it kind of flips and flops depending where you're at on the vehicle and what the lighting's like. A lot of the chrome on this vehicle is pitted, and unfortunately it's also plastic, so it's not actual real chrome, just like a chrome paint. And unfortunately we can't use steel wool on those pieces. So we did get as much of the chrome polished up as possible. Looks really good. We were definitely able to bring the paint back to life. All the little scuffs, scratches, it was really dull. So this thing does have a shine and a gloss to it now. We cleaned all the plastics. We conditioned the leather seats. We went ahead and used some special plastic repair cleaner on the plexi. And yeah, definitely on our hands and knees for a little bit on this one. But she looks really good, came back to life. I'm really happy with how it looks. I'm sure the owner will be happy and pleased. All right, guys, it's the next day. It's Thursday. In the shop today, we do have a 1997 Volvo 850. Now, customer stated that this vehicle has been running rough. I did test drive it, and I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary until the second time that I started it to pull it in. It did appear to be running a little bit rough. She did state that it was running rough upon startup and running rough like on the freeway at higher RPM. I don't believe anything is majorly wrong with it. I did check the check engine light. It was just an O2 sensor, but it did run pretty good for me the first time I drove it. This vehicle does have pretty high mileage, and I did notice that it does have original Volvo spark plug wires. Cap and rotor also appear to be original and nowhere near new. Obviously, from how dirty and grimy this engine is, there's probably been some neglected maintenance. So I did recommend doing a tune-up on this vehicle to the customers, and they wanted to proceed forward with that. So we are going to be replacing the spark plugs. This is a 5-cylinder engine, and we're going to do all 5 spark plugs. We're going to do distributor cap, distributor rotor, and spark plug wires, and start from there. I also believe that it could be some bad fuel. First time I drove it, it drove fine. Second time after sitting for a while, it did run a little rough coming in. But nothing crazy, but obviously there's some neglected maintenance, so it's a great place to start with this. And so yeah, we got parts coming in for this. We also have a Lexus coming in for an interior exterior detail today. In the lift bay, we have my 2007 Honda CRV. Mikey and I did kick ass yesterday, and especially Mikey. We were able to get the engine out. Now we did lower the subframe out of the vehicle and then lowered the engine. Here is the old engine. Now you can see the hole right there. The block is broken. It's cracked right where the lower mount was. It's a nice big hole in there. Not sure exactly what it is. I'm assuming it must be something to do with the rod. The rod must have hit it at some point and cracked the block. It did run onto the trailer, but not great. I had to double foot it to get it on the trailer, and obviously it was making a lot of noise. So anyways, bottom end at least is toast on this vehicle. I'm not sure on the head, so as of right now, this is a parts engine. We do have the transmission all swapped over. We got new water pump, new pulley. I did put the original crank pulley back on just because the other one was kind of rusty. I repainted this motor mount because it was looking pretty rusty. I left most of the sensors that were domestic to this engine on there. I did put the alternator, of course, on. I still got to put the starter in. I did do a new thermostat. I did brand new NGK Iridium spark plugs. And yeah, there you have it. We did drain the transmission fluid, so we're gonna have to do new transmission fluid. Of course, new motor oil and stuff like that. Wasn't too bad to come out from the bottom, guys. I should have probably supported the steering rack a little more, so that rod did slip out. No big deal. I'm sure we'll be able to get it centered back in correct position. If not, then it's not that big of a deal to make a couple adjustments to get it correct again. We do have a box here having a interior cabin filter. We have a brand new serpentine belt. I decided not to go with the Fel Pro exhaust manifold gasket. When I took off the factory exhaust manifold, there was a multi-layer steel OEM gasket, and I believe that to be much better than the compressed material that these Fel Pro gaskets are made out of. I don't want to have to do this later, so I will be returning this. We also have an air filter and some motor oil for the first oil change. We'll probably cycle some oil through this thing, and then shortly after, a few miles, I'm going to go ahead and service it again with some good stuff and a Honda oil filter, and as well as probably the transmission fluid. We'll probably do a couple cycles on that as well. Obviously the vehicle was probably neglected of maintenance for a while. Somehow at 122,000 miles, there's a hole in the block, which is pretty crazy. So not sure if they ran it low of oil or just neglected oil changes. Could be anything, but either way, it's pretty low mileage for something like that to happen on a vehicle like this. So anyways, we do have an engine at 103,000 miles out of a wrecked CRV. So I am pretty confident that this engine is going to be a great engine, but we also don't know the entire history of this engine. So shortly down the road, we're going to be tearing apart the front end. We'll go ahead and do a timing chain, tensioner, all that good stuff with OEM parts. But for now, it does have a new starter, new alternator, new water pump, new tensioner pulley. I did do new front and rear main seals, painted the motor mount, new NGK iridium spark plugs, and everything else looks to be pretty good. Obviously, we have another parts engine with lots of sensors that were domestic to the vehicle. So if we have any problems with any sensors, check engine lights, anything like that, we have lots of parts to pull from. So not a big deal. Engine coming out the bottom wasn't too bad. Like I said, I just kind of regret not supporting the rack more. I thought it would kind of stay in place, but it did kind of fall down as everything came out. We did pull the radiator. I left the AC compressor hooked up so we didn't lose any refrigerant. I'd have to pull and recycle that. So anyways, yeah, we got the radiator out. We'll go ahead and flush that out clean. We're gonna be doing new coolant, obviously. So there is the subframe. You can see all the oil and antifreeze that's all over the subframe. So we're gonna go ahead and clean this off as well before it goes back in. And there you have it, guys. Today, obviously, we got to do the tune-up on the Volvo 850. After that is done, we'll get that out of here. We got to focus on the detail on the Lexus. Once that is done, we'll probably have a few hours at the end of the day to come back and finish getting the Honda engine back together, and hopefully get the motor back up in the vehicle, bolted up, so we can throw the subframe back in there and start plugging everything back in. So anyways, like this video, leave a comment down below. I really appreciate it, everybody that's watching. Hit that subscribe button and we'll see you on the next one.
Ooh, like LeBron though, or like Bonzo. Ooh, I'm a baller, yeah, shot caller, yeah. They love me, you can't touch me, nah, can't trust me. I'm too lucky. Look at me, look at you, what you see, what you do.